Hello and many thanks for joining us on Biz Headlines on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Ernestina Sewa Asante. Now to our very first story, market watchers are very optimistic about the cedi's year-long prospects, with analysts at the research arm of RMB Africa projecting the currency to end 2023 at around 13 cedi to $1. If attained, it will represent a significant improvement over the cedi's performance in 2022, when it depreciated by 30% against the US dollar, according to the Bank of Ghana, compared with the 4.1% dip in 2021. The cedi's performance is closely tied to the country's efforts to secure a $3 billion bailout from the IMF, and recent developments have brought the country closer to this goal. According to analysts, confidence in the local market is expected to rebound later this year, which could bode well for the local unit. A group named Team Saglemi Not for Sale has said it will resist any attempts from government to sell the project to a private developer. According to the lead convener of the group, Nana Otudako, his outfit will not sit aloof to watch the purpose of the housing project die, just as Ghana Airways, Ghana Telecom, among other projects, have become a white elephant. Addressing the press on Thursday, this is what he said.
We are equally stating our position clear that we will not want any private developer to come in. And this, we are going to give a signal, and it is a warning to any private developer who will make attempt to take away our heritage, even our heritage bequeathed unto us by a former generation, that we are supposed to be custodians for a future generation that is not seen. This is a warning to that person. Any private developer that ventures, does that at his or her own peril, as future government would be compelled by Team Saglemi Not for Sale to cancel such unpatriotic contract. And Ghana is at the restaurant.
Ghana's consumer price inflation now 53.6%, according to the Ghana Statistical Service. The recent figures released by the service showed an unexpected slowdown from 54.1% recorded in December 2022, with some analysts attributing the developments to recent gains made by the cedi against the US dollar in the last 3 weeks. This would be the first time in about 20 months the figure has slowed down. CPI measures changes in the price of a fixed basket of goods and services purchased by households. According to GSS, the month-on-month inflation between December 2022 and January 2023 was 1.7%. Fitch has downgraded Ghana's local currency credit score to restrictive default. The latest verdict comes on the back of the conclusion of the domestic debt exchange program, with Fitch Ratings describing the exercise as a distressed one. Fitch further cited the material reduction in terms vis-a-vis the original contractual terms and the fact that the exchange is needed to avoid a traditional payment default as part of its reasons for the recent downgrade. The agency, in its latest statement on Ghana, also placed the country's long-term foreign currency IDR at C, which is the slowest score before default. This verdict is due to Ghana defaulting on its local bonds and Eurobond coupon payments in January this year, while Fitch has also cut the foreign currency grade to RD on the back of the grace period expiring February 17, 2023. Meanwhile, the government of Ghana on February 13 disclosed that over 80% of the local bondholders signed onto the debt exchange program. The program forms part of the requirement ahead of Ghana securing a board-level agreement from the International Monetary Fund for an amount of $3 billion financial bailout. Minority Leader in Parliament, Dr. Kesiel Atuforsen, has debunked claims that Parliament has approved the domestic debt exchange program being embarked on by government. According to him, during the presentation of the 2023 budget, the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta stated that the House will be briefed when the fine details of the program have been concluded. However, when the Finance Minister appeared before Parliament on February 16th, the Deputy Majority Leader, Afenyo Markin, asserted that the policy had undergone parliamentary approval.
Mr. Speaker, I heard the Deputy Majority Leader say that Parliament has approved the debt restructuring program. Mr. Speaker, that is palpable lie. Mr. Speaker, I have with me the budget statement and economic policy of government. Mr. Speaker, I refer you to page 71. Page 71, paragraph 278. Mr. Speaker, it goes on to say that, Mr. Speaker, details of the debt operations program will be announced soon to the public and investor community, after the necessary engagement with all relevant stakeholders. So, Speaker, Parliament does not have the information our Minister responsible for finance has given to us today.
Fuel prices have seen some reductions as the second pricing window for February has begun. Checks by GhanaWeb Business at some fuel pumps have shown that some oil marketing companies have reduced the price of fuel. Fuel is currently selling a litre of petrol at 14 cedis 50 pesos and diesel at 14 cedis 90 pesos, an indication of a 5% reduction from the previous price of petrol and a 3% reduction from the price of diesel. The reduction has been linked to the recent stability of the Ghana cedi these past weeks. Meanwhile, the Institute for Energy Security predicted that OMCs will witness a marginal price drop in the second pricing window. IES, in a statement cited by GhanaWeb Business, further stated that the price of gas oil could drop by 4.26%. This means that the price will move from 15 cedis 90 pesos to about 15 cedis 25 pesos this month. Meanwhile, the price of LPG is expected to be sold at 13 cedis 51 pesos per kilogram across all stations. The Institute also asserted that the price reduction in gas oil could be attributed to government's Gold for Oil program. Dean of Cape Coast University Business School, Professor John Gachi, has said banks will suffer in meeting international standards when the International Monetary Fund's Resident Advisor for Financial Sector Supervision to the Bank of Ghana takes office. According to him, the move by the IMF will make the governor and deputies at the Bank of Ghana powerless. The IMF has assigned a resident advisor in financial sector supervision to the Bank of Ghana to provide technical assistance and to assist in building the capacity of the banking supervision function. The move was at the request of the Bank of Ghana and fully funded by Switzerland's State Secretariat for Economic Affairs. Commenting on the appointment on Star Today, Mr. Gachi described the move as turbulence news for the country's financial sector. He said as a result, the banking sector cleanup since 2018, banks in the country have been mutilated to the extent that some of the banks are only standing and not strong. John Jinapor has called on the newly assigned resident advisor for financial sector supervision to the Bank of Ghana to keep an eye keenly opened on activities at the central bank. This comes after the IMF assigned a resident advisor to provide technical assistance and help build the capacity of the banking supervision function. John Jinapor, who lauded the move, posited that there is a mistrust in the governor of Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, which therefore requires a proper supervision of the bank's activities. Speaking on the floor of Parliament on February 16th, The former Deputy Energy Minister expressed concern over the central bank's decision to advance funds for government's expenditure in 2022. The International Monetary Fund has appointed Nkommo as a resident advisor to the Bank of Ghana. Mr. Nkommo will provide technical assistance to the central bank and will support the implementation of Pillar 2 and 3 of the Basel II and 3 capital frameworks. He will also help strengthen the risk-based supervisory framework at the Bank of Ghana. In a press statement cited by GhanaWeb Business, the resident advisor assumed office on February 6th and is expected to stay for 3 years. Ghana's currency surged as much as 3.1% against the US dollar after government said it had received support from more than 80% of bondholders to restructure its local currency debt. The cedi was trading 1.3% stronger at 12 p.m. local time, heading for the biggest gain in almost 3 weeks. It is still the worst-performing currency tracked by Bloomberg after the Lebanese and Egyptian pounds this year. The support from the majority of local bondholders was a key step for President Akufo-Addo's administration as seeks to finalize a $3 billion bailout from the International Monetary Fund. Besides the reorganization of 137.3 billion cedis of domestic loans, Ghana is also in talks to restructure bilateral and other external debts after suspending interest payments on $13 billion of Eurobonds. With repayments suspended on domestic debt, governments will resort to significantly lower central bank financing when compared with 2022, an analyst with Red Intelligence said in an emailed response to questions. Thank you for watching Biz Headlines on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Ernestina Sewa Asante. But before we go, do log on to www.ghanaweb.com for more stories. Do well to follow us on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the GhanaWeb. On YouTube, GhanaWeb TV. Once again, my name is Ernestina Sewa Asante. Do have a blessed weekend. Thank you.